Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I'm sick, but I'm also a conqueror in Christ. So, what a dichotomy. I was sick for a couple weeks, and then I got completely better, and then a couple days later, something happened, and then I'm about to talk about it in a second, and then I got sick again, and I don't know how they relate, but they relate somehow. And anyway, I'm gonna get right into this, and apologize if I hack or slurp or snort or whatever, cough, whatever, with this whole thing because I'm still sick. I think I'm moving through it, but it's harder now because I just don't have the resources to have the minerals and vitamins I usually have. I just have kind of a sort of a small version of it, and then so it's usually takes longer to get through stuff. And there's stuff in the air. The Lord was telling me that there's stuff in the air. I'm being poisoned. So, and a unique set of stuff in the air. And then I had a friend of mine who's been supporting me a long time, great, wonderful believer. And he said he went to his doctor and they did tests and they said, I don't know what you have. And he had the same kind of thing and he has had it for a month or more. And he said, I don't know what you have, but it's not a cold. This is not a cold. It's something else. So anyway, and it has all the symptoms of a cold and everything, a real bad cold. So anyway, without any further ado, let me get into this. So again, I am the Exalted Lamb #1 on YouTube and Exalted Lamb 1 on Telegram, and there's a link in the description box below if you want to get notifications. I recommend it if you can or if you are willing to, because YouTube, as I like to call them, they turn off my notifications all the time on my subscribers. So I have over 31,000 subscribers, and most of them never get notified of my videos because YouTubers turn them off. And I've had hundreds of people email me and text me and all kinds of stuff on my, or in my comments telling me that YouTube turned their notifications off. So if you want that, and also things I do, I'll post here and there, little things about the timelines coming up, or even about the current timeline. So, you can sign up there, click on the link below in the description box below this video. So, and my motto has always been having no part in the worthless deeds of darkness, but instead exposing them, Ephesians 5:11. And the Lord himself, who is my best friend and my master and Lord, he has called me from about 11 years ago, almost approaching 11 years. It's so crazy because about the time this is about to start, it's been 11 years. And, he started giving me dreams and visions 11 years ago, pretty soon. I'm blown away. It's actually, I'm not gonna 11:11 is really appropriate, but I'm not gonna get into all that right now. So this is gonna be a lot shorter video, but I'm gonna tell you that this is a setup for. I got to be a couple weeks, and then I'm putting together a bunch of things, and also doing even more research. The Lord's telling me that I have much more things to find to support what He's showing me, and you will not believe what He's showing me. It is so definitive. I think it's the closest thing you can have to pure proof that this is happening. But before I do that, the lives of our beloved 14 chickens were cut short, some violently thrown from our enclosure. And that is a trampoline. And inside this trampoline, with fencing around it, are these pit bulls. And neighbors from about 12 blocks away from my town, somehow they're pit bulls who are rescue dogs. What a surprise! And listen, I'm forgiving and I'm forgiving them, but it's hard to deal with because we spent over 5 years raising these chickens by hand and all that, and then these two dogs right here, these two pit bulls, which the owners have not properly, restrained or kept in their yard, traveled like 12 blocks. I don't know. It's weird. It's almost like they were directed to our house. It's just crazy. I don't understand. And destroyed our 14 chickens. And here's a couple of them. For example, you got Fanny Friscoes and Speckle Ethel. And most of them we raised from little chicks, hand raised, and there they are right there, dead. And I just have all their names there. This is part of what I'm submitting to them, and also so they realize that there was that many chickens, and they were killed and all that stuff. And also, I was considering get any restitution if they don't give us something for these. I mean, it's not cheap. I mean, they were producing 10 to 12 eggs a day, and very amazing eggs and all that stuff. And when eggs were super expensive, and they're still expensive. I mean, we go through over a dozen eggs a day between our 6 family members. Especially good quality eggs are hard to find that aren't super expensive. And most companies that make eggs or produce eggs, they lie about all their conditions for the chickens and all that stuff. They're basically free roaming, except for having a little bit around them to keep them in and everything, and protected. And we moved them around. So anyway, it's crazy. So, and here's just a few of many examples of what our chickens meant to us. Some of the posts. There's Betty White. There's another one right here, and my wife nursed her back to health when she was struggling. A little baby, a little chick here, one of the chicks, and for a while we were raising them in this for first. Well, we do that all the time, and then we'd make sure we get a hen that's brooding and stuff, and then have a good hen, take care of them and stuff like that, and we'd monitor it quite a bit and everything. And then here's one of the chicks right there, and then this is a rare view of our sons. These are my twin boys right here, and my oldest son, who's 12, and my twin boys who are almost in May, they'll be 7, and my son who's oldest son who's 12, and then I have a daughter that's older than that. She's 18. Anyway, without even getting more details than that, I just like to keep our family life private a lot of ways, because for a lot of reasons, as a lot of you can understand. So anyway, again, I'm sick, so I'm just doing the best I can. So here we go. So May Day, May Day, May Day. I've been talking about May Day in May for years. Every year for the last 8 years now. This is the 7th year, I guess, whatever it is. And if you want to look at more details about how May absolutely makes one of the most sense ever in the history of the world for everything starting, watch my videos in the last Mays for the last 6 years. So. And then, and also the one I'm coming up with here soon in a few weeks. So, it's mind blowing. Now, again, I shared this on my Telegram and also on a post on my YouTube. I was sick, and other things were going on, but I posted this right after it happened, and I was looking for something in the past that might happen with this, because years ago I found this on Sun Tzu, in an iPad goat on Sun Tzu's forehead was Karg Island. But the thing is, this right here this big part is flipped, and then you have this part here. So you flip it right there. Again, everything's backwards, upside down, and backwards, and everything else, and it matches 100% Karg Island. And then this happened. Trump bombed Karg Island on 3/13, and that's a first day, because 13 days earlier when he attacked Iran, which I said would be a first day, and I predicted days before that he would attack Iran on 2/28, and then when it wasn't the first day, then I said, oh, this should be the first day then, because 13 days later this would be on the Gregorian, this might be on the Julian, 13 days difference. Hopefully that makes sense. But then, that wasn't the first day either. But again, these are all I've shown, in the last 13, 14 times Trump has made a massive announcement. It's been on my first day. I mean, one time he had a big announcement, and it was Zelensky in the White House. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the first day of the timeline. And that happened exactly on that exact day, the first day. And then he kicked him out and nothing happened. And then several things like that have happened. And so Trump's synonymous with the first day. And there'll be another, whatever the first day is, and I think I know now, but we'll see. There'll be a huge announcement. And I guess I'm always speculating the best I can based on the evidence I get and the breadcrumbs the Lord gives me. He doesn't give me full out understanding. He gives me breadcrumbs, and he gives me clues, because he doesn't want everything known until right before it happens. And if you don't understand that, I'm sorry, but that's just how it goes. And so you got to do your best to guess people who are watching and who, looking and everything, and have their eyes opened, and all that. So this is what this was. So this is it's always predictive programming numerology. So 3/13 when it actually was bombed, and then back to 2/28 was when. So these relate. So That was a huge event. In fact, he's talking about it again. He's threatening Iran. If they don't do something about the Strait of Hormuz, then he's going to completely blow up the oil and stuff on this island and all that stuff. And then he gave him 48 hours. And if you go from the day he said that to 48 hours away, which is 48 days, then it's to my timeline. It's just crazy. It's so crazy. So what is 313 and what is 228? Well, those are, because of what he does here, those are the days that he is going to be attacked. Okay, right here. So I thought it was 315 backwards, but it's 513. All the numerology is the same. So that is the 133rd day, or the 13th of March. Again, 13th of March. See? And then so that his family is attacked. The next, in a sense, 9-1 and then 1. It's a mini 9-1 and then 1. And then the major reporting on the major 9-1 and then 1 in New York when Trump is killed is the day with 228 days left over. See? 13th of March, and it's, in a sense, February 28th. See how this is? Boom. 13th of March, February 28th. See? But it's really the 133rd day of the year. Same numerology. 313 or 133. 133. And again, I've been sharing for years how the 13th day is the fourth day of the timeline. I've shared 5-9 being the pre-day, 5-10 being the first day, which, by the way, is the birthday of my twins. I just showed you, and that's not a coincidence. And they'll be exactly 7 years old. The birth of the twins will start on 5-10, and they're 7 years old. That's crazy. I've been talking about the twins before I even had twins. Okay. I mean, seriously, it's crazy how the Lord works. I'm blown away. So, and then right here, when Trump is killed, he's actually killed on 5/16, but it's reported on 5/17. And this is in New York. It's a Nukesals and Manhattansals. And that's the 137th day of the year with 228 days left over. And see this also, Trump was shot on the 13th of July. Again, attempted to be killed, but this time he's going to be killed. But you see the numerology of the 13th of July when he was shot at, supposedly. It was all a big act. Oh my God, I can't believe it. People actually, when they saw that, there's video and all kinds of stuff of Secret Service telling the cameraman where to be positioned before he got shot, and the cameraman gets in perfect position, the main cameraman, and all this stuff. When I was first watching, I'm like, oh my God, this is so obviously staged. I could not believe people actually believed it. It's beyond me. So that's 13th of July. See, so he was shot then, but that's predictably programming the 137th day of the year, 5/17, when he's going to be reported dead. And this day right here, and I'm going to share more in my next video, is the day with 68 numerology. So May 17th, 2026, or 5 plus 17 plus 20 plus 26 is 68. And why is that significant? I've shared this in the past before. 68 is not only Barack Obama, look it up in English gematria, A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. Barack Obama, you add up those letters, equals 68. And World War I started on a numerology of 68 in July of, what was it, 1917, whatever it was. You add up you add July, and then the day, and the month. Sorry, July, then the day, and then the year, 19, whatever it was. In the top of my head, I'm a little off right now. So you added that up, it's 68. World War II started at a numerology of 68. So did the Russian-Ukraine war started at a numerology of 68. And so I was looking for, and one of the reasons that clued me in on this for sure was that it had to be the 8th day, and 1 plus 7 is 8. And then it also had the numerology of 68, because when he gets killed and it's reported on this day, then I've seen all kinds of predictive programming that Iran somehow will take responsibility. And then also they'll take responsibility for this day. This is the reported day. See, again, reported day. I've said this a million times in my videos over the years. The reported day, the 4th day, so on 5/12, Trump's family, and I believe it's Melania and Trump and Barron, minimum Barron, most likely both of them, but I'm saying minimum Barron will be killed, because Barron was Trump's pen name, and so Trump's going to be killed, and so in a sense it's another way of killing him, his son Barron, which is basically a clone of him, as a version of a clone of him, and they made him super tall too, which is weird. It's like Nephilim genes or something. I don't know what the deal was with that. But anyway, it's reported on this day, and then this happens on 5/16, reported on 5/17. Again, reported day, again, fourth day and eighth day. And why is it the fourth day? Because Obama was born on the fourth day, and then eighth day because Obama was born on the eighth month, 4/8. 4th of August, fourth day, eighth day. And there's so many things tied in this. I could go on forever. Okay, and then this is ultimately what this is about. And that's why my next video is going to be massively huge, because I'm going to basically, as close as you can, to prove that these eclipses and this lunar eclipse and these solar eclipses are basically not only shown, all three of them shown on their cheeks, and that's what iPad Go is showing, but also link them completely to Trump and all that. It's just you. And what I have so far is mind blowing. I'm gonna show you some here, but I'm gonna do a lot more in my next video that's gonna blow your mind. And even the Lord told me there's much more things I need to find that He's gonna show me. He made very clear. He's been downloading to me like days in a row while I've been sick. I'm just like, I'm getting all this insane stuff. And then he was been singing to me, "This Is It." The Kenny Loggins song, "This Is It." And even Kenny Loggins' "This Is It" is the May numbers and all this stuff. It's just mind-blowing. And then he sung it to me again, and he said, "Look it up." And then, anyway, so right here, so this is, I thought it might be right in here between these two, but no, it's right in here between these and then also between these. So watch this. So if you go from this annual eclipse to this total solar eclipse, it's 176 days, and right in the middle of that is 176 divided by 2, or 88 to the midpoint, and the midpoint to over here is 88, and that's why Trump equals 88. That's why Trump's mom died at 88. That's why the Pope died at 88. That's why it's 88 miles per hour before the time changes and all that stuff. He goes through the portal and all that stuff, and it's 88. 88. They worship 88 in so many different ways. There's 88 keys on a piano, all kinds of things. You know, a cube has. I'm not getting into all that. You know, like people play dice, right? Two die or two dice, and there's one die has 8 corners, and the other die has 8 corners to put them together, and it's 88. There's so many things out there that are 88. People have no idea. The Tesseract is 88. It's a cube within a cube. Excuse me. Now I'm getting all stuffed up here. So, yeah, just I worked to get my nose clear, and then now I'm all stuffy. So it's crazy. I don't want to take time to blow my nose right now, so I just keep going here. So you're just going to have to hear me like I'm talking like this, and excuse me, I'm just showing you a timeline. Anyway, okay, so right in the middle just happens to be right in the middle, this is all about. By the way, I've shared how in the middle of the last set of blood moons, 2014, 2015, is showing a birth, and I'm going to share that more in the next video. But the midpoint of these things is super important. I also showed on January 11, 2024, was a midpoint to massive things that have happened in the celestial signs and everything. The blood moons, its exact midpoint on January 11, 2024, was the exact midpoint of the blood moons in 2014, 2015, and 2032, 2033. And so there's a lot about midpoints. The midpoints are huge to messaging for God, and then the enemy uses what God already set up for his messaging, his secret messaging, but they both have secret messaging. But anyway, so right in the middle here is what? 5/16. Again, I just showed you 5/17 was reported that the Antichrist and Trump are killed. Barack and Satan Obama, the Antichristos, 5/16, and then it's reported on 5/17. And believe it or not, pretty much every solar eclipse, when it's linked to this date or this date, one of the two or both, they equal the days in between and stuff equal 5/16 somehow. It's startling. It's startling, and I'll be showing that to you. It's crazy. This is super important, and this is the midpoint exactly to the timeline. So from 5/16 and you go forward 8 days, you go to the last day, the 24th of the timeline, the 24th, which is the last day of the timeline, 23rd and 24th, but the last day is the post day. And if you go from 17 backwards and you go 8 days, It's 5-9. 5-9 is the pre-day. 5-10 is the first day. And that's 88 as well. Again, 8 days of each section of the timeline for a total of 16 days, or a pre-day and a post-day, and you have 14 days in between. And that 14 days is also in between when Jupiter exited Virgo on 9/9/2017, and then 14 days later was 9/23/2017, the Revelation 12 sign, and that was in the sky. And that's what iPad Go shows. It shows Lily sitting with 12 stars above her head, or 12 fingers behind her. She's the moon's under her feet, and she's birthing Jupiter, and that's 998/99. It's 98 because the Queen, back in 2022, 5 years after the Revelation 12 sign birth of 99 or 98 was died on 9/8. I don't know if that makes anyway. Well, I'm saying a lot. I should just show you, but I'm just trying to explain some things. So anyway, I just keep going here. So on another thing I want to show you that has to do with this, that it's really crazy, is I looked this up and I was like, when did this start? And then it said that YouTube said that Operation Lion's Roar, they call it Lion's Roar at the time, I thought it was weird, launched by Israel against Iran with intense action reported around March, and it said around March 1st. And then I looked into it a little bit more, and later it said Operation Roaring Lion. It's really technically Operation Roaring Lion, but this said Operation Lion's Roar for some reason, because it's another set of numerology. I'm not going to get into that right now. So it technically began on February 28th, but it started happening with intense action on March 1st. So we got 28th, which is a first day because it's numerology of 1, and March 1st, which is numerology of 1 as well. So they're kind of together anyway, and that shows that they pretty much this operation began on both days. Is what it's showing. Okay, so that's true because on March 1st/228, okay, the moon was right in front of the mouth of the lion. The lion's roar, get it? And I saw this just after it happened. That's why I was looking this up back then. Okay, I was like, what the heck? And then little did I know, I would look into the future based on this. See this? And then I looked at it and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. Boom. The moon is in the exact same spot, which is not unusual, but how it lined up exactly over the sun at the exact same spot. Okay, in front of the lion, making a lion's roar. Okay, and again, it's the midpoint between this day and that day. Is what? It was, well, you add them up on this one, but so in a sense it's like the midpoint, but it's 5/16. Again, there's 5/16, 5 months and 16 days. Again, things are referring to that midpoint of 5/16 by 5 months and 16 days, or from March 1st to August 12th. Again, this is the total solar eclipse right here, total solar eclipse. And then when Operation Lion's Roar happened either on the 20th or on the 1st, look, 16th of May. May 16th, 16th of May. And then Operation Roaring Lion, okay, which is technically what it is. 5 backwards. See, O is 0 is hiding O or 0. It can be 0 or hiding O. And so O can be 15, or 1 plus 5 is 6, or 1 from 5 is 4. But in this situation, it's 15. So that's 5. 1 plus 14 is 15, plus 1 is 16. 5/16. Again, 5/16. Or because it's Israel, let's do Jewish. Jewish is just a type of cipher of gematria that was used in kind of Jewish, has Jewish origins, okay, but it's just a way of calculating. Like the first 9 letters are single digits, the next 9 letters are double digits, and then the rest of the letters are triple digits. That's how it works. And there was a Jewish system based on Hebrew gematria and things like that. So Operation Roaring Lion just happens to be O, hiding O, and that's 15, and then 1, 6 here. So it's 5/16 plus 1 is 5/16 and 17. It's crazy. Okay, keep going here. Okay, boom. iPad Go 2. Oh, wow, what a shock that this would be lined up. Now watch this. 159, just everybody knows that 9 is a 6. Whenever you see stuff sometimes with 9, it has a line under, or a 6, you have a line under, so you know whichever direction it's turned. If a line's under, you know which way it is. So everybody knows a 9 is a 6. So let's just flip the 9 to a 6. See that 159, flip it to a 6. Well, what's 156? 156 is the 100 is 5 in the middle of 16. Again, 5 in the middle of 16, or 5/16. See, 5 in the middle of 16. Okay, and what is 16? 16 is 8 plus 8. That crazy? 8 plus 8, or 8 plus 8, or 88 from this is 516. Or 5, it's just, there's just so much relating. The 156 prime, by the way, is 9, 1, and then 1. And even, we are going to put it over here because 666 upside down and backwards is 999, or 9I, because I equals 9. So 999 can, 9, 1, and then 1 can be hiding 999, or 999 could be I, which is the base of 666, because 111 plus, times 6 is 666, or upside down and backwards is 999, or 9I. Hopefully that makes sense. And then how about this? 9, 1, and then 1 backwards is 119. The 119th composite number is 156. Composite number is anything other than a prime. A prime is only the numbers that can be divided by themselves and 1. So every other number is a composite number if it's not a prime. The 119th composite number is 156. Again, 5 in the middle of 16, 516. I'm telling you, so many things in creation now, as I'm looking at it more and more, are hiding 516, because this is the death of the Antichrist, which begins a process of this whole end time stuff. Like, 5, and then by the way, it's not just that. If you take 516 upside down and backwards, it's 9 plus 1, 5. 9. So imagine this is upside down. 9 plus 1, so 9th plus 1 is the 10th of May. So ultimately, this is upside down and backwards for the first days. 9th plus 1, 9th and 10th of May. It's crazy, okay? And then iPad Goat was released on 6/24/2012. Why? Well, for a number of reasons, including the fact that it is the 176th day of the year. June 24th is the 176th day of the year, and that is 88 plus 88. So this whole thing right here between these two eclipses is 176 days, and it just happens to be when this is released. And then what about 190? So June 24th is the 176th day of the year with 190 days left over. And again, there you go. 176 is 88 plus 88, okay? And then 190 is hiding 1. Let's bring the 1 and the 9 down. And remember, 0 can be O, as that's 15. Again, watch this. So very similar to right here, it's 1 from 10 is 9, 5. Or with rule of claw, you give her this 1, and then you have 10, 5. Again, the first days, 9, 5, and 10, 5. 1 from 10, 5. 9 plus 1 is 10. 1 from 10, 5 is 9. Or then you just take out the 1, and you have 10, 5. Or backwards, 5, 1 plus 19 is 20. 5, 1 plus 19 is 20. 520 is the birth of the Antichrist and the man-child into heaven. 520 and 521 on the timeline. If you want to see the whole timeline, current timeline in May, is pinned to the top of comments on this video. Just this video will be on the next one as well, but you can see all the events starting from 5/9 all the way to 5/24, and even the tribulation begins on 5/25 until 5/26, or 5 and 2 5s. 525 is 5 and 2 5s, or 555, and 555 is also 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 525 and 510 are both starting points of the tribulation and the starting point of the first day. 555, I've seen so many things. For example, every time you watch a movie, most movies, when they put down a number or something, it's 555, because it's predictably programming you of two things. 5, and then 5 plus 5 is 10, so 510 is 555, or 5 and 2 5s is 525, the beginning of the tribulation. In both situations, they're both starts of chaos and craziness. That's why in a lot of movies there's a lot of craziness, shooting, and all kinds of stuff is when things start. And they have that phone number as the... Why did they pick 444 or 333? Or I know why they didn't pick 666, because it'd be too obvious. Why not 777? Why not 222? Why not? Why 555? Because that is the beginning of everything. And in fact, I shared a movie years ago, an Argentinian movie, and it's called 5.5.5 or 5-5-5, and it says everything begins as the caption for, or the main subject, or the tagline, I guess, for the movie. Everything begins at 555, which is 510 or 5 and 2 5s, 510 or 525. Hopefully that makes sense. And then again, now you flip this thing over like that, And you have, look, May 16th plus 1. Oh, look, May 16th, May 17th, hidden in 190, the 190 days left over. And this is right in the middle of 88 plus 80 is 176. And this is all a coincidence? I think not. Man, I'm feeling funky. Oh. Yeah, well, I got to bang this out. And then from iPad Go's release to 510 is 6 plus 6 years. I could have put a plus in here, but the way this program does it, you can just put a point. But it works out the same because anyway. So this is actually 6 plus 6 years, 6 plus 6 plus 6 months, and 6 plus 6 plus 6 weeks, and 6 plus 6 days. You get to this. It's crazy. Telling you. And in the beginning of iPad Go, you have on its forehead, on the Goat's forehead, is a barcode that says 666. And then we know that iPad Go equals 666. I just showed you, and I've showed you in the past. So it's not a coincidence that to the first day, it would be some version of 666s. And there it is. Look how they're balanced. Look how these are balanced. It's crazy. And then when you go from the opening, the release date of iPad Go to the last day of the timeline, this is the first day. This is actually technically the post day, or the last day. 23rd is the last day, but the 24th is the post day. 9th is the pre-day, and 10th is the first day. If you go to the last day or the post day, from that to that, you have 726 weeks. By this day, the 23rd and the 24th, again, everything is a 2-day thing, 23rd or 24th, this is the harpazo of the balance of the bride. And 726 is harpazo in Greek, on the Strong's Concordance, if you're familiar with that at all. And it's also, 726 is English Sumerian for Antichrist. So the birth of the Antichrist, and 726 is harpazo. So it just happens to be 726 weeks, which is Antichrist and harpazo. I don't think so. And then if you go for September 1 and then 1, 2001, that event, and you add 9,011 days, 9, 1 and then 1, you get to the first attack day in May, but May is hiding the next major 9, 1 and then 1 in New York because May 14th right here is upside down and backwards 516. See how these all produce each other. See, 514 upside down and backwards is backwards 516. Crazy. Even when people say 9 and then this other word 11, I'm going to say it that way because then I don't need my videos even more shadow banned than they already are, but maybe it doesn't matter anymore. I don't know. But when everybody says 9 and then this word 11, okay, look, 16th of May. Okay, it's crazy. Or what are the chances that the 156th prime is 9, 1 and then 1 or 9 ELEVEN? What are the chances? Or when people say it this way, they say September and then the word 11th. Look, the number in English Gematria for iPad Go 2, 159. Again, we said flip that 9 to a 6, and we have 5 in the middle of 16, 516, and 516. And this is all by chance? Nope. The key is 1, 5, and 9 flipped up and down, all kinds around and moved around. You get most of the days in the timeline, upside down and backwards, all that stuff. It's crazy. I'm telling you, this is what this is. And then, for example, this is like a documentary that CNN did called 9, 1 and then 1, 15 years later, and they just happened to have the 9 over the 15. So if you have a 9 and then you have 15, and that's part of this 9, 1 and 1, because again, the 150. So anyway, we'll just do it this way: 9 and 15. See how the 15 is right under the 9, so it's secretly hiding 9, 15 right there, because that's how it would disconnect. It's connected 9, 15. 9, 15 upside down and backwards. Oh, 5, 16. The next 9, 1 and then 1. They're basically secretly saying the next 9, 1 and then 1 is 9, 15, which is upside down and backwards 9, 16, and then also go back or go this way again. 9th plus 1, the 10th, May, is when the whole 9, 1 and then 1 time frame, the real one that has been predicted programmed for this timeline that's coming, that's going to be major event after major event after major event, be the kickoff for the tribulation eventually, starts on 9th plus 1, 10th of May. Then upside down and backwards, it's May 16th. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to leave it at that. And then I wanted to show this to people that it was a crazy message the Lord gave to me. This is a sword, and then I made artwork on this. But this is just one sword, a real sword I made, I guess, about 15 years ago, something like that. I was really struggling at the time. It's a long story. But I took a 2 by 4 believe it or not, that was a 2 by 4 and I carved it. This is a real sword. It's probably about 3 feet long. No, about 3.5 feet long, something like that. And this is on one of my tables outside on the patio. Anyway, and so I duplicated it with this, made it in this artwork here, but I etched into it really nicely, and then I colored it. So anyway, I urethaned it and stained it and all that stuff, and it brought out this color. This is just a regular 2 by 4 and I carved it out, and I made it different. I made the blade down on the handle instead of being in the middle of the handle. I wanted different. And so I made this wooden sword, and then it got beat up. My kids have used it and play swords and different things. It got beat up. You see how it is? Like my life, like being a faithful believer, you get beat up. And then somehow it got broken. No one wants to tell me how it got broken, but it was broken right through the middle of it. I mean, look how it's beaten up. And on one side I had defeat the devil, and on the other side I etched in Jesus' name. It looks so cool. Defeat the devil in Jesus' name. And then the Lord, just as I put it together, He says, I'm putting you back together. And even though you're beat up, you're gonna fight, and it's gonna become something great. And then I was just like, wow, because I was just gluing this thing together, and then He was saying this to me and looking at how beat up it was, and He said it's gonna turn in. And then I got a picture of it turning into gold, and see how it looks kind of orangish. And then I saw it turn into gold, and He said, this is you, and you were beat up, and I fixed you and stuff, and now I'm going to use you in my hand to fight, and it's coming very soon. It's like, oh my gosh, I was like kind of weeping for a little while and everything. So anyway, and so I just made this some artwork to share, because this is something I did like 15 years ago, and I just love the thing, but I let my kids use it and stuff, and just because I'm not the kind of person that just like puts it up in a case and I have it just anyway. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Hopefully this bless you somehow and you see some things and all that, and also I just want to mention that we are so struggling. I wasn't able to come up with my rent last month, and it's only been the last couple of months that this has happened ever in over 10 years of being in this place, because the Lord's working through some things, and some things that now I owe somebody money, and He's working in that, and it's just crazy. But I don't want to do that anymore, of course, and we still need money to survive and live and all that. So if you're able to give, please, we need it badly, badly, badly. Me, my wife, and my four children. I mean, we sustain ourselves on donations. So, and just barely, and actually not even, because we owe money now. So, which is unusual. And again, the Lord He keeps telling me, just trust me. It's just what I want you to do right now. And I've been keep thinking sometimes, oh, I should do something on the side, and then He keeps shutting me down, and a lot of people say, oh, you should have a job. And I did for half the time I was doing these videos. The Lord said, I want you to stop doing that. I want you to focus all your time on doing these stuff for the time we have left. And so I just obey. I don't have it, just the way it is. So, and even I was saying recently, it might be my last video, because I was about to just quit. I was so close to quitting. And the Lord just lifted me up and just said, He blew my mind again for the millionth time, and said, I can't have you do that. I need you to do this. I will take care of you. It's going to be rough, though, because at the end it's rough, because He goes, you're going to have a better story. And I'm like, because I was like, why do you keep doing this to me? Let these things happen to me. Why am I going through all this stuff? Why am I all this stuff? And He goes, it's going to be a better story. He keeps telling me. And then I was just like, okay, well, I'll trust you and everything. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. This is, if you're able to give, the links in the description box below for Zelle Pay. You can sign up at ZellePay.com, or even there's a link for PayPal, and you can pay through different ways like through Venmo and stuff like that, and credit card, all that stuff. Because please, if you're able to do it or you're led, we need it badly, just so badly. Thank you so much. I'd just, and then I'll just stop, because I can't breathe anymore. My nose is completely stuffed now. So anyway, I hope pray for me also, me and my family, and with the whole chicken thing. My wife, I was surprised how much I was affected very much affected by this. I mean, we raised most of them by hand and all this stuff, and named them all and all this stuff. And it's weird. You go out there and there's just no sound, and there are 14 of them. I just started to get real used to them, and my wife was crying for quite a while, and it's just been hard. So thank you for your prayers, and then also that it works out with these people, that that they, Lord works in their hearts somehow with what happened, and then also maybe we get some compensation for it from them. I mean, I'm not trying to gouge them or anything. We're giving the minimum we need for those chickens, so uh, we could charge a lot more and all that, but we'll see what happens. So just thank you for praying for the whole situation. And I'd rather just not even deal with them, but some of the Lord, I'm just kind of following the direction of the Lord and how He wants me to deal with them, and talking to Him a little bit. We'll see what even happens. I don't know. So I'm just talking to Him a little bit, and just saying, hey, there's some minimum we need to cover the chickens, and we need to get some other chickens or whatever, or we need to cover eggs and things like that. So anyway, thank you for your prayers. Anybody will want to throw some prayers our way, we appreciate it so much. So I'll just leave it at that. God bless you. And this is Exalted Lamb 1. Finally.